Today, we're here to talk about, what we consider to be a landmark transaction at Burrito Investments Limited. On November 23rd, 2021, we closed this landmark transaction. I'm going to give you, a little bit of detail about the transaction itself. As a small island and a developing country, we typically have investors coming in from outside of Jamaica to invest in Jamaica, and what they do, they repatriate their profits outside of Jamaica back to their home countries, right? This transaction is landmark in that it's a little bit different. Very rarely we see transactions where it is that we have a Jamaican entity that would have partnered and acquired 3 entities in the United States. These companies are Robert Slack LLC, Florida Funding, and Florida Title. All 3 entities operate in Florida, USA. Now, a little bit more about the transaction and what do these businesses do. So, Robert Slack LLC, this is a real estate brokerage company, right? And it's not like your regular, typical real estate brokerage company. It is a company that utilizes its people and technology to drive the closing process. They use technology to drive, how quickly it is that they can turn around leads, and that way they can bring the transaction to a close faster. Now, this is a company that was started in 2015, and they started with 43 employees, and they generated a revenue of approximately US $46 million. Now, let's fast forward to 2020. The company at the end of 2020 had over 600 employees and generated a revenue, this is business, closed sales, in excess of US $1.5 billion. Now they're on track for 2021 to close the year with in excess of 700 employees and generated in excess of $2.2 billion worth of closed transactions. Now that is a big deal, right? And that's why it is that we call it a landmark transaction. And we have Jamaicans who would have acquired this entity.